Good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you're getting a good start to your day here, staying warm, wishing the best for everybody. And kicking off our morning, this is a great way to start the year, Doug. You know, an early 2025 episode, you know, appropriately bringing in the Consumer Tech Association's new release of top 15 technology gadgets and new equipment being rolled out for consumption coming this year. And that's a predominantly Chinese company. But, you know, before we get into all these great gadgets coming your way, we always got a good morning video. So, Doug, today's good morning video brought to us by Tanner Colson. You can find him at Tanner Colson. But first,
this coffee brewer is an actual science experiment, and here's how the science experiment works. There's a bottom chamber and a top chamber with a tube, and they sit together like this, separated by a cloth filter. The bottom chamber gets filled up with hot water, and the cloth filter is held securely in place with this springy gadget thing. Once all the pieces are together, a butane burner sits underneath the bottom chamber to further heat the water. As the water is heated, steam begins to build in the bottom chamber. The steam has nowhere to escape, so it increases the pressure in the bottom chamber, pushing the water down and up through the tube into the top chamber, which is where we'll be adding our coffee. We'll dump the coffee grounds into the hot water in the top chamber and follow that with a stir to make sure that everything is evenly saturated and incorporated. When we're satisfied with how much the coffee has extracted, we can remove the burner from below, and the steam in the bottom chamber condenses, leaving a partial vacuum. Atmospheric pressure and gravity work together to pull all of the coffee back down through the filter and into the bottom chamber.
Does that not look like the best cup of coffee ever?
I want that. I need that. I want that.
Right, Doug? I'm sitting here. I'm like, this is amazing. So you got to check out Tanner Colson, because first, I was just looking for some high-tech cup coffee. This just looks scrumdiddlyumptious. You go to his channel, though, you want to see high-tech coffee. This was the first video I find. This is the cup of coffee I wish I woke up to versus some Keurig K-Cup crap. But look at, you want to see technology. Tanner Colson's page is wild. This is...
show you how the most intense coffee nerds make espresso. To start, we'll be super precise with our measurements and weigh out exactly 18 grams of coffee. Next, we're going to spritz those beans with some water to limit the static electricity buildup that will happen in the grinder. We'll make sure that our grind size is perfectly dialed in, usually by messing up a couple of previous shots. Then we can grind the coffee in our very expensive grinder. We'll also be using a very specific water temperature. Here I'm going with 205 degrees Fahrenheit and preheating the portafilter on top of that so that we don't lose any heat in the brewing process. Then we can add our espresso grounds with the help of a magnetic funnel. We'll use an expensive and very satisfying WD-T tool to make sure that those espresso grounds are evenly distributed. And then tamp with a very cool looking and satisfying tamper. This one's also expensive, go figure. We'll add a dispersion screen on top of that, then lock it into our espresso maker and fill that with hot water. Let's start extracting this coffee with a pre-infusion at 3 bar. We'll hold the pressure there for about 10 seconds and then ramp the pressure up to 6 bar, where we'll hold it for the rest of the extraction. We'll end this shot at 42 grams out in 30 seconds total, including the pre-infusion time. It tasted awesome.
Oh,
see,
that does look good.
No. They always look frothy and delicious, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just not an espresso guy, but like that's going to be so bitter and too much.
Are you not a black coffee guy?
Dude, did you see me put creamer in this bad boy?
But is it flavored coffie?
This one is kind of.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'll drink some naked coffee.
Some black coffee.
But I'll drink some Toll House. What is it? What's the house?
Maxwell House?
Maxwell House. I'll drink some of that. That's some just basic coffee, right?
Yep.
This is, you know, I just think it's too much in too many ways. One, to make that cup of coffee, it costs how much? How much equipment? It's too much equipment. It's too much work. It's going to be too much of a bitter taste. I don't know. But kudos to the people dedicated to the craft of dominating masterfully, by the way, high-end technology. So moving on now, let's kick it off. We've got the top 15 releases from the Consumer Tech Association, something you look forward to in 2025, some great technology coming our way. First, what you're looking at here, yes, Barovia's Splay is a mix of a projector and a foldable screen.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah. So even in this frame, they've got it set up like a monitor. It's a computer monitor. The nice thing about this is now you can really just take this anywhere. You can I'm specifically looking for like camping, this is incredible. You've got your computer.
I work remote, so like that would be awesome to like travel with then, have a nice like monitor like that.
Imagine now, here's the curious part. Controlled lighting right now. You're in a convention center with controlled lighting. What does this look like outside? Have you seen a projector
Probably
outside?
Not meant for outside.
I gotta say though, Doug, something that plays to their benefit is that the projector's on the inside. I think that really does have an impact on how well.
That's probably why it's all blacked out.
Well, exactly. I think that's why it has a positive impact, fighting through the environment's natural light, whatever it may be.
But any screen gets pretty hard to see when you're like out in the sun. So I expect it probably isn't going to be perfect in the sun still, though.
No, I agree.
That's cool, though.
Real quick, I'm going to be cutting this part out too. Doug, at the end of it, I'm going to have you rate what you think you would buy, what you wouldn't buy, what's the best one of the technologies. Like, give a review for the end.
All right. Need to.
Exactly. Okay, so then moving on here. That's number one. Looking here at number two. Samsung introduces the world's first transparent micro LED screen. First off, it's got transparency to it.
But why would you need a transparent screen? I'm really struggling with this one.
Well, okay.
I mean, it's cool as hell, but why would I need it?
First off, you could get pretty creative with decor, I think.
Like have a fireplace.
Yes, a fireplace, or even just like a glass panel along the top of a railing. But also, Doug, imagine what like Universal Studios can do with this on an immersive ride.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. There are cool things, but for my personal like
living room,
I'm not rich enough to probably even afford that for a decorative purpose. And as a TV or like a monitor, I just don't see it.
Well, what I can appreciate for your point, I kept it limited and boiled down, top 15, whatever. You would imagine in these top lists from this convention, how many of them were transparent screens like this?
I mean, that's kind of cool.
I mean, it's just a cool thing, but at the same time,
eventually it will become common. Eventually it will be affordable.
Okay, I'm not trying to nerd out, but people that watched Game of Thrones would be able to appreciate this. But imagine you're watching Game of Thrones, and remember the episode where they fight the White Walkers, and like 90% of the episode is just blacked out.
Oh, I hate it.
Everybody complained because they couldn't tell if like their TV was broken or like if this was intentional. Imagine just like the screen is just nothing. You're like, what's going on here? All right, moving on to number 3 here.
Keyboard for your iPhone, but it's not just for typing. So, of course, you can type with this. It snaps onto your iPhone like a case, and on the bottom, it plugs in, and you don't have to do anything. It works right away. But this does more than that. Like, it's built into a case. It does stuff that I've never seen on an iPhone before. Like, for example, so Command Space brings up Spotlight from whatever app you're on, and you can type in the first letter of the next app, hit enter, and that'll bring you to another app. You could hit Command H to go home, you can hit the space bar to scroll down a web page, and you have a lot more real estate on your phone without having a keyboard pop up whenever you have to type something. But it's definitely kind of chunky. So I'm gonna try this on my iPhone for a week and see what we think then.
Here's what I'll acknowledge. I know for some people, it was easier. They could do it without even looking. They're texting and having physical buttons that you could associate yourself with. You could have a higher utility. But at the same time, that was never me. So I look at this and I go, it doesn't really accomplish much for me.
Wait, you were never one of those people who could just blindly text? Like in class, I remember having my flip razor. I'd have my phone in my hoodie pocket and I'd just be texting away.
Hold on. But at that time, at the time at which I was texting in my pocket, it was an analog. What was it? Time where you had like
1,
3
2,
letters.
3 would be like 3 letters. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about too with my Razor phone.
That's
Once you got to touchscreen, it became impossible to text without looking. You're right.
So again, if I've been using a touchscreen since eighth grade, iPhone 1, Like I actually text so much quicker with it because that's just what I'm used to. But you know what? There's clearly a market for it, and I also think it probably scratches a nostalgic itch that everybody's kind of awning for. So I think, Doug, are you ready for $1,400 moonwalking shoes? But it could make the ease of brisk, slow, just ease walking fly to 7 miles an hour.
Think of the future, I think of this. These are the Moonwalker X. They're not skates, but they are shoes with wheels. Okay, they definitely feel heavier. There's definitely something on my feet. I'm definitely moving faster. 3 times faster, the company Swift tells me. They limit to 7 miles per hour, which apparently is jogging speed of a normal person. And a full battery will get you 1 hour of walking. It'll take 1 hour to recharge to full as well. The shoes talk to each other via Bluetooth, and there's electric motors in both of them. The toe box bends to mimic how our feet walk. And there's 10 wheels on the first generation, but only 6 on the second generation, which weighs 3 pounds. Currently, Gen 1 is available for $1,400, but Gen 2 will be coming out in summer 2024 for also $1,400. While these are designed for factory or warehouse workers who have to walk a lot to do their job, you can totally imagine a set of these in the New York City subway. I mean, you gotta make those transfers.
I could see Amazon warehouse investing in this so people get across the warehouse quicker. But like, if you're a city walker, don't you lose the whole purpose of your ego anyway, where you're like, I don't kill the environment, I walk everywhere I go. It's like, and get all this exercise. It's like, well, then it defeats the purpose if you're just like jetting across the ground and I think also the cost seems to be a little bit outrageous. I don't know, Doug, what do you think of it?
I just don't see a need for that. I mean, even with a man with a bad knee, like, I'd still prefer walking. Plus, like, I don't know, that just seems stupid. Like, and city sidewalks, streets, like, they're not exactly leveled. There's, especially up here in Ohio, where you got plows destroying them every year. Like, how's that going to handle when you hit like a ditch in the sidewalk? Like, they're testing it on a nice smooth surface. You mentioned Amazon. That's a perfect, nice, smooth concrete surface for them to use it on. I wonder how it would really work out in the snow.
And can we be real? Look at Amazon. You implement it into your factory and somebody does hit a crack. And then now the severity of their fall is so much worse because they're like
going
jetting at 7
miles per hour.
and just hit the concrete. So now a product you don't really have much control over. You do to a certain respect, but not too much, to a point where now you're liable for whatever comes of it. Like, do you really want to open that door? But hey, efficiency, maximize the dollar. Doug, moving on, number 5 here. You might be interested in seeing the new Chinese e-car, the Xpeng Aero. I don't know, Aero or Hot unveiled a flying car. So a nice e-car company is bringing us our first flying car. Is that what you would call it?
It's like a Cybertruck.
Exactly.
Wait, it comes out of the car. So okay, that's kind of cool. You can fly, you can drive with your jet.
But see, the interesting thing is it's not a flying car.
It's a car that has a flying component.
And so again, you flew somewhere, but you still got to go back to the car.
And you have no car where you're at then.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
This is cool as hell, though. But, like, I want an actual flying car, like a car I can drive and fly so that I don't need to then rent a car wherever I just flew to.
Yeah. Man, now you got to get a car. Well, no, you got to fly back.
But, like, you can't fly. Okay, I fly from point A to point B, but if I want to go to a little shop around point B, it's not like they're going to have helipads for your flying car, so you're going to have to get a car.
Man, Mr. Jetson didn't think all this through, but also it's just interesting, like, they're not all in one. You would have imagined the first flying car to be the flying vehicle also has the ability to become.
But it's so cool how it fits together. I give them that.
Oh, yeah. Well, wait. This seems like a pretty finicky. We can't have people in their like $500 boat get it in a boat dock well with their trailer. You're expecting me to believe en masse people are going to be able to
Get that in
get
and
that
out.
back in? Okay, watch it go out. No problem, right?
It must be automatic or something. Like line up and just you hit a button and it does it. Like it must be an auto thing.
I would hope. I would hope.
Like no way someone's that dead on every time.
That's what I mean. That you're catching up. Okay. Going on to the next one here. How hard is brushing your teeth? Can we make it easier for you? It's already such a pain. We could do it now in 10 seconds. Meet the Y brush, a groundbreaking toothbrush cleaning all your teeth in just 10 seconds. I mean, I would probably do it for like 20, maybe even 30 seconds anyway.
This is our Y brush electronic toothbrush.
I just don't.
The Y brush brushes all of your teeth simultaneously thanks to its Y shape. And you get a whole clean in under 20 seconds. So you just turn it on. It has different modes. You just choose the mode, turn it on, it vibrates.
So how expensive is this, Alex? Do you know? Because
Didn't
like
really-
it's gonna wear out. It can't so unless it's something you can easily replace, those brushes are gonna wear out just like any other Brussel. You know, like
Looking at their official website,
Put it in your
Oh,
mouth
man.
like this shows. You just
90
chew on it
bucks.
very lightly and then twist side to side. The timer will tell you when you're
that's
done.
not worth it 'cause
Twist
it'll wear
it,
out
10
so
seconds,
quick, you know,
and
like,
you're
not
done. You
quick,
have a
but, like,
full-
It's gonna wear out eventually. Then you got to spend another 90.
oh yeah, well,
Chew on it very lightly and then twist side to side. The timer will tell you when you're done. Twist it, 10 seconds, and you're done. You have a full clean teeth in under 20 seconds.
I just don't think it's effective enough. You don't really get into. I think I would rather stick with a conventional brush.
Or like the Oral B like vibrating.
Yeah, that's what I got one of
things,
them.
You know, yeah, either a normal brush
So,
or one of those
you can
curved
just
ones out there.
Take it out and just plug it into
Yeah,
the
easy.
Sonicare you have.
I agree.
This is for $39.99, and
Oh.
you can just. This will be available in February. You can buy the whole thing from us if you want.
$39.99 again.
Could be. That's the global trick. But Doug, we know that's not exactly where you start your morning. Let me introduce you to the thing that matters most to Doug. Doug, take a look into the future with an $8,500 toilet.
Bet you never seen a toilet like this before. So we're at CES 2024, and you can see here
toilet by
Kohler actually has
Kohler.
this new Me 2.0 smart toilet, and it's a lot going on with it, man. Check this out. All I gotta do is stick my foot right here, opens up just like that. And if I go and put it back right there, right back down. Now check this out. It got all the LEDs and all that, as you can see, but if I want to go ahead and close it, all I do is just this. And it just closes like that. Now when I walk up to it, it should open back up. They said this has a heated seat too, right?
Yes, the heated seat's not currently on, but you can enable that if you wanted.
Do they have a price for this retail?
$8,500.
Yeah, man. You're not gonna find shit like that anywhere else.
You know what's crazy is for the people that I know that have had installed heated toilet seats, they live and die by them.
My question is, does that have a bidet? Because I've heard more and more people swear by bidets.
You need a bidet, Doug. If you're just pushing around and getting crusty and
Using toilet paper like a normal American.
hey, get with the times. Get with the times. Cough up, a car payment, like a full car. $8,500 for a toilet. I don't know. To me, that seems a little outrageous, but hey, what the things we
It better
do
do
for
my
comfort.
taxes for me.
Number 8 here. Look at this super screen. 137-inch TV. I mean, that's HD. When you got a bend like that, you can't even tell. Wow.
is cool. Why do I need it?
Ask that.
I mean, I guess for like an event outside, then you can fold it up like that and protect it.
Right.
Or if I had like
But
an
look at
outdoor
that.
bar.
I mean, it has a beautiful stand. So really, for rich folks, just convenience and just bragging. Like, watch. Let me pull
my
out the
TV
TV.
folds.
Yeah, straight up. Again, to me, this seems like a little bit of a unnecessary waste. But hey, this is future technology, right? Like it is an innovation on the thing we've had for 100 years now.
I was gonna say 100 years, we're still advancing it.
So number 9 here, Hyundai, really impressive. It's a little loud. Yeah, I gotta hand it to
this
Hyundai.
is more of a flying car than that other one.
That's what I think.
The other one was more of like a drone you could sit in.
They're calling it the SA2 Air Taxi.
Oh, I've been seeing commercials for these.
Oh, you're gonna hitch a ride?
Well, no, Honda just uses it as like, this is Honda innovation.
Doug, you need to find yourself there. Man, and it's so cool how the propellers fold up like that. And then when they need to, they could come down like a plane. I mean, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's short takeoff and landing and vertical takeoff and landing. Like
Beautiful vehicle.
It's like an Osprey almost.
Yeah, just wait until our Ubers are that. You're going to the clubbing with the girls and that, like,
and all the airline pilots are now Uber pilots.
Oh, that would be dangerous quick. All right, so number 10 here.
Everybody who uses computers today as a tool will need an AI supercomputer. And so I just wish that DGX-1 was smaller. And imagine, ladies and gentlemen,
This is by NVIDIA.
This is NVIDIA's latest AI supercomputer. And it's finally called Project Digits right now.
Okay.
And if you have a good name for it, reach out to us.
Yeah, we might be able to help.
Here's the amazing thing. This is an AI supercomputer. It runs
Jarvis.
the entire NVIDIA AI stack.
Yeah, Jarvis would be awesome.
All of NVIDIA software runs on this. DGX Cloud runs on this. This sits...
Or Ultron.
Well, somewhere, and it's wireless or connected to your computer. It's even a workstation if you like it to be. And you could access it, you could reach it like a cloud supercomputer, and NVIDIA's AI works on it. And it's based on a super secret chip that we've been working on called GB110, the smallest Grace Blackwell.
So now we've got even smaller, more convenient, but even higher capacity supercomputers. Who knows how long until we all have a quantum computer just casually installed in our microwave.
Or a chip in our brain.
Yeah, or a quantum computer installed in your brain. That's when you really get into Ultron. Yeah, maybe we should just call it Ultron at this point.
I think we should. I think that was the name for it.
Yeah, especially because it is an AI computer. Number 11 here. I've been showing you a lot of things you can incorporate in your morning. Coffee, brushing your teeth. Doug, I don't know about you. This might be one, at least I am going to be a bit more reluctant to throw into my morning routine. This is Opti's supercomputer mirror.
So it scans you.
Oh, yeah. A 360-degree body scanning health mirror scans for heart, lung, sleep, body, and metabolic consumption. So it's going to tell me you ate too much, you never sleep enough, and we're worried about what you do in your free time.
I mean, that's kind of cool. I bet that thing's pricey as hell.
Could you imagine Hold on. I'm going to find out. Let me know if you see a cost, little boy.
Pending FDA
100
clearance, $129.95.
Doug, it says right here it's going to be about $129.99. That's not bad. $130 for a super mirror?
That's actually not bad at all.
I mean, really, though, you can get there's plenty of equipment for, getting your blood pressure without even pricking your finger anymore. There's devices that can tell you your BMI and all that other.
I mean, dude, that's the same cost as like what an Apple Watch or a smart cost, like smartwatches, things that do the same thing
even
cost.
more so it makes
so, like,
sense.
Now you don't have to wear it all the time. You don't have to worry about charging it all the time.
It's a giant glorified Apple Watch, right?
But you don't have to wear it or charge it. That's kind of
right.
cool.
Just plugged in the wall. But it's a giant Apple Watch that you don't take with you. Just every morning, it reminds you all the things you've neglected and failed to accomplish on another day. Keep trying, Sally. All right, number 12 here. I think might be at the top of my list. Is one of the most exciting or cool gadgets we got coming. Oh, check this out. So, this new vehicle here, Yang Wang's U9, is a supercar that can jump 6 meters forward over like a pothole because of its jumping suspension feature.
Okay, I can think of multiple things wrong with that for Ohio.
Because it'll always be jumping.
We got potholes everywhere, so it's always going to be jumping. But then it tries to jump a pothole on a snowy day, and then you slide out and you crash. And then it just showed it.
Well, no, you're not going to be doing it in a
spike.
snowy day. This car has never seen
That's
snow.
true.
It's called a supercar.
But it showed it jumping over.
I don't know if you know what
spikes.
supercars are. There's nobody taking a Lamborghini out in Cleveland too, and it doesn't diminish the value of, like, I don't know, a Lamborghini. So
Fair point there. But
the reality is, though, there's this feature that you could only implement, Doug, to success at a high speed. You're not going 25 miles an hour in a school zone.
we also don't
seeing
have
a
an
pothole
Autobahn.
and jumping to any avail. Like, you got to be going probably at least 40, 50 miles an hour. And it's just really cool that you've got a jump feature that's not like a cartoon where it's just launching in the air. However,
Dukes of
just a,
Hazzard.
just a good big bump, just a good little push.
But no,
right over the
this-
spikes.
Right
Yep.
there. So that's two. Police aren't going to let that car in the U.S., I feel like, because you're going to be able to hop over all the spikes that they throw down to try and stop you in a pursuit. Like, nah, that ain't going to be allowed in the U.S. There ain't no way that's
See,
allowed in the
what
US.
I'll tell you is I still love and appreciate, Doug, your naivete, because what you fail to really internalize with the expansion of this technology and the growth of these sciences, not only do they get cooler, faster, stronger, but they got all the cooperative government chips in them where they'll just be willing to go, yeah.
Oh, shut it down.
We'll
Yep.
shut it down. It's got a turn off switch. These ain't going at. We're not building any more of these things without that.
That's such a good point.
All right, let's look at number 13 here, closing down the episode. We got 3 more. Looking at number 13. This is a pretty cool pen. So it's not just some ordinary pen, but what you write and draw with it can be directly imported.
They had stuff like that when we were
Yes.
kids. It was nowhere near like as good to be able to like get all this stuff that this seems to be. But dude, they had something like that when we were kids.
They had rudimentary
Yeah.
types of technology where you could write something and it would read it back to you.
Yeah.
But nothing where it created an image file. Like, okay, right now this says, I am Japanese. Ring-a-ding-a-ding-ding. However, it doesn't have to just be writing, Doug. Like, imagine you give this to an artist, like somebody like Dallas Still that painted this, monkey. Like, give that to an artist like Kemp. Kemp can do our friend could do really good, like, font art just like of words. Like you can create
Calligraphy.
Calligraphy. You do some really great images, and it imports it as an IMG file right into your
phone. That's pretty cool, man. That is so cool. It's just so funny because I saw that and I immediately thought of the crappy, like you said, rudimentary recording pens we used to have as kids, like that were out when we were kids. But it's like, man, I forgot all about those until they immediately brought this up, and I just came back to me. I'm like, shit, we had this a long time ago, just a lot worse.
And amongst all the technologies we've kind of reviewed today, this is one of those ones that you'll see streamlined and seamlessly integrated into our casual society more than most of the other ones.
I mean, college notes alone, I'm thinking of all the notes I took in college. This would have been able to also transcript it into my like electronics, so then I had another version of it too. I mean, just
every student will have this. Every student will have this.
I'm jealous now.
Yeah, right. But even though we're saying our abuse to our
real quick,
yes.
This must be how our parents felt when like computers came out. Like they used to have to type stuff on a typewriter and white out and line up all the lines and everything. And then we just sit there, oh, let me just go back and fix this, autocorrect that. And now we're seeing this. It's like, oh man, that's kind of cool.
Right. I mean, very true, Doug. But now we have to say, as we say our farewells to our fearless leader, our commander-in-chief, our American Roomba, just in time, the casual technology of a Roomba has become even more sophisticated than him himself.
What?
Yes!
Dude, that's what Roomba's been missing.
Get that sock or that wiener dog out of my way. I've got vacuuming to do.
And it's actually just moving it, not
into a basket.
No!
Oh no, you're not. You're not going to give us the old fold, are you? Nope. That's gonna be the next
iteration.
Yeah.
Next generation. All right, dude.
Back to it.
I know a lot of people with the Roombas, and like they are cool, and they actually do a decent job as long as you clean them and don't let the bristles like run over shit that's gonna destroy it. But that's how you make sure it doesn't run over like cords or stuff that's gonna destroy it. So now it's gonna actually probably make them last longer because it's not running over crap.
Exactly. But, honestly, I don't know how much utility and practicality it actually provides.
Oh, yeah.
But
right?
it's a cool feature, and it's a development that's only going to bring more interesting things to this basic technology. Soon it'll just be a lady that walks, she'll fold your clothes, she'll wash your clothes, she'll vacuum, just the whole nine.
Your mom?
And now the last technology of the day.
An exoskeleton, right?
Yes.
Oh, dude, they've been talking about these for decades.
And again,
since Iron Man.
I agree, but finally being able to bring it into practicality, where a machine can just connect to a wheelchair and bring someone their mobility back. Look at that.
And hopefully we'll get to the point where it's actually affordable and usable for so many more people.
Well,
I mean, that's the ultimate goal there. Right now, that's so bulky, probably so expensive. It won't have much commercial.
I can't, the CCP, I can't really speak for the Communist Party of China. But what I can say is for us, we're, a free world run by insurance, insurance will deliver on making sure this is affordable for regular people. That's why insurance rules our world. Free healthcare. But no, honestly, I just find this to be a great beginning because, like you said, this is something we've imagined forever, but it's finally in practicality. So now we kind of have a bedrock we can develop further. So with all that being said, Doug, let's land this plane. What's your favorite technology you've seen so far? Any that you would just throw away, you think is a wasted endeavor or a waste of time, waste of money, or some that you might actually need to start implementing in your house?
So I thought the folding projector screen was cool and actually plausible for most uses, so I'd probably buy that. The Chinese e-car, I do think that's cool. Being kind of separate, you do get a car and a flying car all in one, like a drone almost, like we said. It's probably like too far away. Like I don't see myself being able to buy it, but I think that's actually kind of cool. The Honda Air Taxi, same thing, like a smaller, portable, little flying, and that was more of a car because it was all in one type of thing. I think that's cool. I think it'd be awesome if we got rid of our crappy roads and just created air routes. You know, no more hitting potholes as you're driving and popping tires in Ohio. The body scanning mirror got I like that purely because the cost doesn't actually seem to be that bad. 129, that's actually not bad. So that's why I'm like, I would maybe buy that because it's actually affordable and is a nice.
Are you curious about that jumping car? You talking about cost? One of the things that I had queued up and I forgot to mention. So the Yang Wang jumping, supercar. Looking at the conversion, 168,000 Chinese or 1.6 million, I guess, RMB. Chinese yuan is about 229,000 US dollars.
That's actually not as much as you would think.
Right. For that supercar, I only say that because it's like, all right, a supercar, still a car I won't be able to afford.
But also we live in Ohio.
Yeah. Okay.
So
true.
So I love that. I think that's cool. Do I have $200,000 to throw on a car? No, because I'm trying to throw that down on a house.
But you got $100 for a mirror.
Yeah, that's at least and I can use it to look in the mirror. It serves a purpose even when it's not being a smart tool. Like even if it breaks and dies, it's still a mirror.
So let me ask you this, Doug. When you wake up in your sleepy stumble into the mirror and you go,
mirror,
Alexa,
Alexa
on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And your mirror Siri tells you, Doug, let me break your heart real quick.
You're dead.
These are all the things you're failing. Are you going to be happy or glad you have it? Or is that thing going to find itself on the curb?
I don't know if I'm necessarily going to buy it. I just think it's more likely I'd buy it because of its price. It's not like
fair.
It's not price restrictive. But I do think the jumping car is kind of cool. I just don't see a need for it. The Roomba with an arm is cool. The exoskeleton suit is cool. But the next thing I would actually possibly buy is that E-Pen thing. Like if I was still a student in school, I could see myself easily getting my money's worth from that thing because just transcripting all of my notes like that would be so awesome.
I completely agree. I appreciate your breakdown because I kind of share a lot of the same sentiments. So in regards to what I would personally buy, pretty much the same things. I like the pen, and more so, I think the greatest and easiest thing to implement in my day would be that projector. That's something that I would find easily finding multiple uses, whether it's a picnic in the park or I'm traveling, whatever the case may be.
You said.
Yes, I think it's a great opportunity to and that will find mass utility. I don't see myself changing toothbrushes. I like the ability. I might have a higher tech toothbrush, like Doug pointed out, of an electric, but having the traditional brush, I want to be able to detail my teeth.
And it's easy to replace a bristle on one of those current e-brushes. It's costs pennies compared to the price of having to replace that whole thing.
Correct. Totally. So I would probably not have any interest in something like that, even though it's one of the more practical things that you could actually afford or implement into your day-to-day. Not having much interest. But one of the things that I don't really want to gloss over, as I feel you may have, is I think that exoskeleton, it's not going to find itself in my life. I'm doing okay. But I do think this is a great step for en masse humanity and really our community. There's going to be a lot of people that benefit not only from just the rudimentary beginning of this technology, but the fact that now we got the ball rolling.
Well, I'm thinking like
where this is going to develop to.
I'm thinking like I have a bad knee, you know, when I'm older, that knee's probably just not going to be as good as it is even now, you know? So it's like they make it to a point where you can just slap that on the one spot you need it, like slap it on my knee and it just helps support cushion my knee. Like that would be all I really need. And that like, that's where it could go. Like it's a big bulky suit now. We develop it down. It could be you could put it on your elbow to help you. You could put it on just your knee, just your ankle. Like it could get to the point where it's so small you can use it for what specifically ails you.
Look at the AI NVIDIA supercomputer. My dad is a chemical engineer. The computer he grew up in that was in his university in the first stages of a computer was the size of a full room.
Yeah,
the whole
dude.
room was a computer and it read like your printouts. You never got Word where it was like a printout that you know today. These were long, skinny cards that had holes punched in them, and all it did was
the old punch cards.
Yeah, and these things would
God.
feed back into the computer, and that's how you were able to print things and share or remember, save things, was on these long punch cards. Dude, growing up, those punch cards were like how we made note cards. Like my dad had tons of these things. Now they've boiled, not only did they develop that into a compact, regular sized computer, they've installed super AI technology, and now it's the size of 2 iPhones stacked on itself.
Yeah, the size of that supercomputer was absurd.
Right? So they will certainly have this exosuit developed in such a capacity similar before we know it. I mean, think about the guys, I was listening to Joe Rogan talk to Jamie about paralyzed people that could golf and how they've got technologies that could just like, they get out there in these like cart chairs and then it lifts them up and they could take their shot. Just wait. Like, Doug, they'll be walking out there just like you and I. They'll hop in the golf cart.
I think that's awesome. Everyone should be able to golf. It's something you can really do with like the most basic of mobility. You might not be great, but it's something you can do. Everyone can do it to a certain extent, and that technology is going to make it even more open to people. I love it. One more thing though, too, Alex. I do think it's going to be awesome how they can get that though. Golf is already becoming more everyone. Like if you and I during the pandemic, it picked up a little bit. Now though, it seems like it's almost impossible to get tee times like we used to. And so like, as much as I hate that, I do think it's great that people can get into something like that. Like that there's going to be a way for people to get into something and do something still. Cause like a lot of people play golf when they're younger. You get older, you can't.
No, I greatly appreciate that point because even more so, not to get on a golf tangent, but that's a special sport where like it's a more casual sport that could be appealing to more people.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a welcoming sport to people that may not, that person cannot go play basketball. No matter, I don't think we're ever in our lifetime. I don't know if you're going to see an exoskeleton that's that smooth to be able to, dribble like MJ. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. At that point, I think there will be a world then where even just regularly abled people will be wearing exosuits just to keep up with the standard of life once it gets to that high capacity. What a weird future we have ahead of us.
No, what you just said is absurd to think about, man. Like normal people wearing exoskeleton. Like that's not even something that even has crossed my mind in this discussion because like it's just that's so far out, but that's a crazy point. That's a crazy point.
Dude, and we're turning the page into that world. We've got a little flavor of it of what we have in store for this year, and we know even more is to come. So very exciting. Be sure to dive into the comments and let us know what you think you would implement into your life and some of the ones that you think are just wasted endeavors. But again, we go live every Sunday at 11 a.m. This week wasn't live, so we may not be live, but you can find us here. So always circle back, catch us, stay around because there's a lot more. So, make yourself comfy and check out the other episodes. But we also do a live show on Tuesdays, the Rethink Tank Live, and we have a podcast that you could also find on other channels. So if you're looking for one central place where you can find everything, you can find it at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. Otherwise, guys, if we made you laugh, if we made you think, be sure to share this episode episode. And again, we want to hear your thoughts. So please be diving into the comments so we can get an idea of your perspective. Add a little dynamic to the dialogue. But otherwise, guys, we'll catch you next week. Peace.